Cody, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
That's awesome.
How are
Well,
you?
I'm doing really good. It's my first coffee with Kellyco in it's been 3 weeks. I've been off because I got married and then I was on my honeymoon. And then last week I just had to get caught up with everything and I actually completely forgot about coffee with Kellyco. So, but we're
Yeah.
on now and we got some people going to be joining us. I'm getting this all brought up right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you've definitely been a busy little bee, I know.
I
So
have, definitely have been. So how have you been?
great. Great. Just trying to get out when I can and dig around in the dirt when I can, and took a trip a couple months ago up to Missouri, and we dug around up there with a buddy of ours and found some really awesome stuff, and got on some old coins, some rings, and it was a fun trip.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, been doing a little creek and river walking, looking for points and things like that. So yeah,
Awesome.
we've gotten out on some good adventures, even in the middle of the pandemic.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I we have some amazing news to announce though. I think that you're going to be starting a new job soon, right? Well, you have started a new job.
I am starting a new job, and it's going to be with you guys actually, which is
Absolutely.
kind of crazy. Yeah, I know. So yeah, so in a couple of weeks, yeah, I'll be actually working for Kellyco up in the Knoxville offices and showroom. So
We're
it's
really excited to have you on our team. I know
I'm
you're
really
here in Florida right now with us.
I am in Florida right now. Yeah, well, it came all the way down to Florida to learn the ropes and maybe do a little beach detecting and just meet everyone and see the lay of the land and how everything works, and
Mhm.
just meet some people and just get acclimated to the team. So yeah, it's awesome. It's a long way down here from Texas,
Yes,
but
that's a long ride. I've done
yeah,
it.
longer than. For some reason, I just thought it would be shorter. I thought it'd maybe be the same as Tennessee, but it is much longer. But
It's because you got to go across the panhandle. That's
I,
the longest part of the drive is that panhandle of Florida.
right, it's you don't think about that, and then you look at it, and it's kind of misleading, and you're up there, and you're like, man, this is a long stretch to get through, but
Because
but
all of a sudden you're in Florida and you're like, yes, Florida's here. And then you're driving and driving and
yeah.
driving.
I know. It's still, and it's pretty warm. It's starting to cool off up there a little bit. So it's a little warmer down here as well. And now we got this big hurricane, I guess, that's coming up in the
Yeah,
Gulf, and I don't know what's going to happen with that, especially on our way back. So
got to be safe.
yeah, we may be driving right through the middle of that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Like, I guess that's one of those. Well, maybe we should have flown this time, but it didn't. It
Yeah.
didn't turn out that way. But anyway, we'll make the best of it.
I'm going to give a shout out to Jerry and William, aka Brian. They're in the chat. Good morning to you guys. Um, so, Cody, you've been metal detecting for how long do you think? Well, what got you into it?
Um, Almost 10 years, I would say, like solid, uninterrupted.
Okay.
I'd probably say next year would be like the 10-year mark.
Okay.
What got me into it? I actually did it when I was a kid. I had a little Radio Shack detector that just like everybody's story,
Yep.
it's like a $20 deal or something, I don't know, and bought
Yep.
that and went out in the backyard and dug a couple of coins and went to a playground and dug a couple of coins when I was a kid. And, you know, and our dad was a detectorist too, growing up, and he, that was something he was really passionate about, and he loved to look for old stuff in the ground, and he loved to help people find rings they had lost and things like that. So I think we come by it honestly, my brother and I do. So but yeah, it was like, it wasn't until I got a little bit older and caught some stuff on YouTube back in the day, some of the early YouTube channels, and
Okay.
saw them digging and saw some of the amazing stuff they were digging. I'm also a coin nerd, by the way. So I was like, these guys are digging these old coins out of the ground. I was like, there's no way. That's crazy. And so I
Yeah.
just watched and watched, and it pushed me to just go buy a machine. And fortunately, at that time there was a little hobby shop right down the road from me. They
Mm-hmm.
had like models and stuff like that in there. But I called them and said, "You have metal detectors?" Like, yeah, we do. So anyway, went down there and actually bought an Ace 250, and
Okay.
That was the first
ST8.
machine that I like when I got hard and heavy into it that I started on, and the Garrett Ace 250. Started going to some churches and then some older houses, older churches, and then you're always just looking for the next thing, the best, the better thing, something that's older, and just fell off into it, like just down the rabbit hole after that. Then went next machine, older sites,
What are you currently swinging?
Garrett AT Max, still use the AT Pro, and I have MindLab E-Track.
Okay.
So, and then I still have the 250 oddly enough. But actually I have a little girl. I have two little girls, but my 6-year-old, I got the junior shaft assembly for that. And I put it on that machine, my original 250. And so now that's what she's learning to hunt with. So it's that machine's kind of come full circle. So
I think most people have had the Radio Shack detector and the
mm-hmm.
Ace series. I mean, most people I talk to, they own a Radio Shack. That's what I started with. That lasted a week.
Yeah.
And then I came to Kellyco and got my detector. But
the Ace series is good. They're good beginner machines, easy to use, and I found some really good stuff with that machine, honestly. I mean, you think, you dig your fair share of trash with it, but I dug some cool stuff. My first silver and stuff with that machine. So,
I mean, skill comes into play when you're metal detecting, of course. Your machine comes into play as well, but there's a little bit of luck. I mean, if you're swinging a detector and there's something under that coil, I mean, you're going to hear it. If it goes deep, you'll hear it.
Yeah. And then just to continue that story, so years went by, upgraded machines, and then, met all the people at Garrett Metal Detectors and got to know all of them, Steve, Miguel, Brian, all of them, and started hunting with them. And they encouraged us to start a YouTube channel, me and my brother. And so we did, and that's North Texas Metal Detecting. It's right here. And so we've had that channel going for about 5 years now. And we don't get out as much as everybody. We don't get to go hunt every day. We have, we've had 9-to-5 jobs, but whenever we can get out and we get some good stuff out of the ground and we can put together a video, we do, and we throw it up there. And we found some good stuff even for Texas. We're not on the East Coast where there's, colonial coppers and a lot of Civil War stuff that you can dig, but we found our fair share of really cool stuff, and we're proud of it. We're proud of the videos we put up and the stuff that we found for sure.
So how are we going to fix this hat now? And you're going to be moving to Tennessee. You could keep Tennessee Metal Detecting, and you could put now Tennessee Metal Detecting.
I know. Well, it's kind of funny because I told you we went to Missouri. Mm-hmm. We kind of started branching out. We hunted in Louisiana, and we had some buddies in Oklahoma, and we started going up there. Then we went up to Missouri, and I was like, told my brother, I'm like, dude, we're not really hunting in North Texas anymore.
Yeah.
We're finding ourselves out of state. It's like maybe we should have made a name that was a little more encompassing rather than just pigeonhole ourselves into this one little area of the country. We're proud of North Texas Metal Detecting, and I think we've built a really cool brand, and and especially people in that area, especially people are getting in, they'd like to know that, I've just moved into North Texas. Is there anything to find here? They're like, yeah, there is. Look, just check out our stuff, and they like, oh, that's really encouraging that there's this stuff here as well. So I don't know what we're going to continue to hunt. And especially, once we end up in the Tennessee area and, where Civil War country is, it's just going to open up a whole lot of possibilities on finds. But as far as like what we're going to call ourselves, a new name, new branding, I don't know at this point. We've talked about a lot of different things, and I may just have to change like the N to an E and maybe just make East Tennessee Metal Detecting. I don't know. I may just go with something completely different and off the wall, but we're going to keep hunting. We're going to keep making videos, and we're going to keep putting them out there. So
that's awesome. We got a couple people saying good morning. Good morning to William, Don, Terry. And William says he has a Simplex and a white Spectrum XLT. I had an XLT, and I just recently I gave it to a friend who loved the Whites brand and really wanted to get one. So I just said, here you go. And I gave him that detector and that Simplex. You're going to test the Simplex out today.
I am.
It's a pretty good machine.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I held it in my hand, and and it's just kind of, just seeing how balanced it was and everything like that. And the plan is to get out to the beach today, actually, and swing that machine around and put it to the test and see what it's all about. So I am looking forward to getting some time on that.
That's awesome. You're really going to like it. I like the Simplex. I mean, the name says itself. It's simple to use. It really
Yeah.
is. And it's for the price point. I mean, there's some features in that machine. You're going to find, you're not going to find that on any other machine really in that price range. Wireless headphones, waterproof to 10 feet.
The waterproof for me, I was like, wow, at that price point, that's an amazing feature, and yeah. And I know a lot of people, I know you say Simplex, sometimes a simple machine is good for some people, you don't want it to be overly complicated. I've seen machines that are, and it scares people, and some people want that customization, and some people want it a little more, easy to manage and navigate around and use. So I do want to see what the interface looks like on that for sure. So I'm hopefully I'll find something.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about simple machines, one of the simplest machines I think out there, and one of the best for competition hunting, fortunately they don't make it anymore, is the Tesauros. I mean, that's just a really, really good machine. When I go to a competition hunt and I see a whole bunch of Tesauros, I'm like, crap, I'm not going to get anything. Those Tesauros are going to clean up.
Oh, yeah. I've been to several hunts and people bring those out, and they still like that. They're still going strong. People swear by them.
Yeah.
There's an older guy that we know that just it hunts with Tesoro like all the time and just like refuses to go to anything else. And he's found some amazing stuff with that as well.
Well, Don says that he started with a bounty hunter. He moved to the XLT, and now he's got a Knox 800 that he bought from Kellyco. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying that Knox 800. That's been a really, really popular machine. A lot of people, it's gone out there, and it's gotten into a lot of people's hands. I know a lot of people found some good stuff with it. My brother is the other half of North Texas Metal Detecting. His name's Darren or Durwood. He bought that machine, the 800, and he loves that machine. He's just been crushing stuff with it. I mean, he can't say enough good things about it. So I know he's happy to have that in his hands as well.
Well, what type of detectors would you say you are? Do you think you're all around, more of a relic hunter, beach hunter? I mean, I know the answer, but
yeah, well, I told you earlier in the show that I'm, definitely a coin nerd. We definitely consider ourselves coin shooters. We love looking for coins, and especially at the very beginning of us getting into this hobby, it was all about the coins. But then things started changing. We got onto some old military sites. We started digging some musket balls and some bullets, some dragoon buttons, infantry buttons, things like that. Some old buttons, military items, and it was like, oh, okay, hold on. Like that's really cool. And it's a lot harder to find some of that stuff in Texas versus over on the East Coast. But I was like, whoa, I see us falling down going down this path now. So we've started getting into that a lot. So I would say predominantly coins and relics, and we don't have any beaches or anything up there in North Texas other than just your lakes and things like that. So from time to time, we will go lake hunt up there, like swim beaches and do some water hunting, especially in the heat of the summer, and we can stay cool, and we'll find some rings and stuff. But it's definitely not like digging in the sand on the in the Florida coast or the South Texas coast.
See,
Brian, I know what I think you're all about the beach hunting, right? Or no, because you're relic chick. Yeah. So
yeah.
No, you're a relic chick. What am I saying?
I'll go to the beach, but I prefer to go to a beach after a hurricane when there's some old stuff, or if it gets really, really hot. I mean, you see it down here, and you're in the cool area, cool time of the year.
Yeah.
I'll go to the beach to cool off or to test some machines. But yeah, no, I like relics. I like doing research, getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and we do our fair share of door knocking old houses and properties and farms and things like that. But it's predominantly coin shooting and relic hunting, I would say, is our forte. And we have hunted like South Padre Island before. We have some family down there, and but we don't get to beach hunt like a lot of other people do in the country. So, and we don't have a whole lot of Civil War stuff, but hopefully, obviously that's going to change pretty soon. But But yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, you go to different parts of the country and people are kind of into different things, you know,
Yeah.
nugget hunting and like, you know, beach hunting. And then, you know, you've got people that your water hunters, your lake hunters, rivers, your creeks. And there are people that love doing farm hobby.
Yeah.
I think is that there's a little slice of something for everybody if you want to get into it. So
Brian had a question. He's been trying to order some headphones for CTX 3030, and they've been unavailable for 6 months. And he's not talking about the Mind Lab ones. He's talking about the other brand, which is probably going to be our Detector Pro ones. I do know that we have an order coming in from Detector Pro. I mean, honestly, with everything right now, there has been some supply issues just with, you know, things going on with COVID. There's certain products that we haven't been able to get anything from. I mean, I think everybody's been affected in one way or another by COVID, but we're working to get them in, Brian. If you want to give us a call, we'll see what we got, which ones you're looking for. Shoot us over a message right on the Kellyco site, and I'll dig in and see which ones you're looking for, and give you a better accurate time on them, when they'll be in and when I can get them to you. But going back to talking about relics of beach and all that, the other day we had a showroom customer, and you said something to the customer, and it was very true, and it was the same with me. When I first got my detector, I was all about, I'm in Florida. I'm like, I'm going to the beach. Let's go to some parks. Let's see what I can find. Ooh, I found 20 quarters today. That's really cool. But when you hold that first relic in your hand and you look at this and you're like, this is 110 years old. Oh my gosh. It does something, and it changes. Doesn't do it to everyone, but that's what changed me. And I remember it was a Shirley President suspender strap is what I found. And when I looked it up, did the research, I was just like so amazed, because where I was at, there used to be a house that burned down in the 1800s, like late 1800s. And I'm like, so this is why this is like proof that there was something there. You look at it now, it's just a field in a park, you know?
Yeah.
So, but it does change.
It does. I guess you realize kind of the gravity of it once you find something historic or old, and you realize, man, that fell off of somebody's, you know, out of their pocket, or they dropped it out of their hands, or it fell off of a uniform, and it's, you know, 150, 180 years ago or whatever, you know, and there it's been, and you were the next person to come along and pull that out of the ground. And the last person to hold it was the owner of that item, you know?
Yeah.
I remember I found my first Eagle button was actually like an Eagle cuff button, like general service. And I was actually coin shooting at the time on a really old site where some really old coins had come out. And we were all about the old coins, all about the old coins. And that Eagle cuff button came up. And then I think that was when I was like, okay, like that's crazy. Why is that here? I did not expect that to be here. And that's when I started thinking more and more and more about the relics and the military stuff. And I think that was kind of like the point where I started to go, okay, there's a whole other avenue here to explore. And, you know, and my brother and I will trot off through the middle of the woods for 8 hours now in the winter time with backpacks on, just trying to get to some old like military crossing or site or something like that, just so we can dig a few buttons now. We're not even worried about the coins. It's crazy, you know?
Yep.
So I get it. Relic, yeah. Once you get into relics, it opens up a whole lot of a new door. So,
but when you find those old coins, it's like right then, right there, you know, looking at that date on the coin, it gives you an idea. You know, you're like, okay, so you know when that's from. You pull a relic out, and it's like, it's not really just having the relic in your hand, because you can find some crazy things, like some of these key fobs that I found, or different types of buttons that I found. It's like, then you get to dive in and really find out what it was. I love finding like those old jar tops. I found one for snake oil from back in the day, which was really cool. Or some of the old advertising stuff. And then you start putting up these little companies that have been gone for years and years, and you start pulling up the advertisements for this item that you found in the ground. I mean, that's so much fun.
Like little brass pieces that went on an old coat company, or some furniture maker, or like an old letter opener that a bank gave out, or like even old printing plates and things like that. That, you know, there's all sorts of cool stuff like that. And I think a part of the relic thing too is not just that you're not. I feel like with military buttons and things like that, it's like you're starting to connect with a person and a story more than with coins. And it allows you, there's so many things too that you dig, you're like, it's got significance. And you're like, I'm not sure what this is. And then you get to go into the research mode and you get to dig around online and you're like, oh, that's so cool. That's so crazy. I had no idea when I dug this, that this was, X, Y, and Z. And then you just learned this whole story about this one little item that you dug from the ground. Again, that's part of it too.
I'm going to show you something talking about that in just a minute, but Adam asked about the Nokta Macro Mini Horde. We don't have an exact date when this is going to be available. We're waiting to confirm that. As soon as we have a ship date or release date, when we're going to be able to sell them, then we'll definitely have it up on our site. I just don't have a date that I can give you or anything right now. Hopefully soon though. But going back to that, just finding different types of like advertising. This one was really cool that I found.
It's an ashtray.
It's an ashtray.
Cool.
And it's pitted pretty bad, through it.
Yeah.
I cleaned it up as best as I could. But it says,
what does the writing say in the middle?
It says Chambers cooks with the gas turned off. So this was like it was a gas company back in the day, like stove company is what it was. So it's pretty cool to find that. And when it came out, it was so black, and I'm like, this looks like an ashtray. Then I start cleaning it up. It's aluminum. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
From the 60s, 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
But it's
so
cool.
That's a promotional ashtray piece. Yeah, you can't really hand out ashtrays as promotional items anymore. No. I think I had mentioned something to Kellyco about that as a promotional piece, and you're like, no, that's probably not a good idea. So
can't.
Back in the day, you could. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's one of those cool items, that you're like, wow, I can't. It's so weird that they used to, give those out.
Another one that I found was an old. It was for a stroller. It was a stroller tag, and the property that I was detecting, it was really cool because I found that, in the year that it was made was based on the serial number that was on this tag. It was only made 1 year, so that was really, really cool to find that. Yeah. And then it's really cool when you're digging a property because you can start, I don't know, my mind goes crazy when I'm detecting. But so then I find that, then I find a little junior marshal safety badge on the property.
Yeah.
And then I found some toy soldiers, and then I started finding a toy cap gun. Then I started finding, I found a pocket knife, and then the 22. So in my head, it's like, here he is in the stroller. He's growing up. He's got his junior badge. Now he's got his cap gun. Now he got a pocket knife. Now he's shooting a little gun, and so you kind of put that all together.
Those items told you a little mini story about the kid that grew up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I found one of those little sheriffs. It was a Tom Mix Ralston straight shooters sheriff's badge, and right next to it was a little piece of 25-cent play money.
Oh, that's cool.
And to write together on this really old site, we were actually doing some filming and stuff with Garrett, and I was like, man, that's cool. Some kid just lost this stuff here, and here it's been ever since. And I could just see him playing with it, wearing the badge and like, give me the money, like all this stuff. And it just creates this little vignette in your mind of like what was going on in the past. It's really cool. I mean, relics are awesome. I mean, and I'm amazed at how much stuff there is out there when you talk to other detectorists, or you go to a show, or you see somebody's case and they've got all their stuff and they're like, what is that? Or where did you find that? And there's a story behind it, and it's just, the stuff tells the stories, it's
absolutely
that's what we're out to dig out of the ground. So
well, I want to give a shout out to Grant and Stephen Binder. They say good morning and hello. And then Mark joined in. He said, hi, Cody, welcome to the team. And he said that I'm not allowed to leave anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. I tried to get Mark to do coffee with Kellyco, but he's so busy he couldn't do it. So
oh, yeah.
Yeah. But so what we're almost out of time here, but I wanted to ask you, what's one of your most memorable finds that you've had?
One of my most memorable finds probably depend on what category, but I remember digging my first seeded and just being really floored by that. And just where it was too. It was just not, I'd been looking for a seeded coin for so long. It's just I was just hitting barbers. Yep. And I was literally hunting a curb strip in an old town. I was on the corner under this giant cedar tree, and out it came. That just right by a public sidewalk. And that's when I was like, man, these things come when you least expect it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You just, and, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes. And just when you think it's not going to happen, it does. And there it is. And I tell people that a lot, because there's a lot of people that get into this hobby, you know, and they dig a lot of trash, and they, you know, they get discouraged, and they're like, when am I going to get my first Merc, or when am I going to get my first whatever it is they're looking for on their bucket list, you know, or that trying to get a little bit older and a little bit older. And I just say, you just got to keep going. Just keep going, keep swinging, keep being persistent, freestyle, do something different, change it up, you know, just, you know, go knock a house, go get a house, or just change it up, because you will eventually try enough things to where something's going to work, and that thing's going to turn up when you least expect it, and it's going to surprise you. So I tell that story a lot. But yeah, my first seeded was really, really, being a coin nerd was really, really a big deal for me. And then I don't know what some of the other, you know, we found some other really cool stuff relic wise. We found stuff for people before. Those are memorable just in the fact that you're just making somebody's day better.
Well, Stephen put a little story over here, and this is pretty cool what he did. He said that they set out to Pennsylvania in the mountains to collect and research wood turtles. They managed to talk to the property owner, and they gave him permission to detect. And they found a good luck badge and a toy gun, and they gave it to the kid that lived there. And he said that it was cool to see something from an older generation end up in newer generation hands. So
Oh yeah, that's super cool.
That's definitely a memorable story.
Yeah, absolutely. I found some stuff too on like family property, like you know, a house that belonged to our grandparents. It's no longer in the family that we were allowed to hunt, and found some jewelry pieces and some coins like that were probably, you know, belong to some of our, you know, our family members. I mean, that's always kind of cool when you can do that too. I mean, and it is, yeah, it's and again, when he's talking about the stuff that you know, the old former generation played with, and now it's in the hands of a new generation. It's like, that's a really cool way to think about that. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
you're rescuing that stuff, you know. There now it's out of the ground, and it's here to be enjoyed and talked about, and the story shared with somebody else, and with a new wave of folks.
Brian, I'll definitely, after I wrap up this show, if you give me about 15 minutes, I'll give you a call, and I'll see what I can do with these headphones. But Cody, I want to tell you thank you to the team. You guys will probably be seeing more of Cody on here. We're going to get his brother Darren on here, so you guys can hear from him. But as of right now, that's a wrap for today. It's 10 o'clock, and we will be back next Wednesday with a guest. I want to tell everybody cheers. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye everybody.
Everyone.
Good luck. Happy hunting.